It's Brian Preston, the Money Guy.
All right, we've got another question from Scott on YouTube. I think our topic of standing out in an interview struck a nerve because we have like a lot of interview questions in here. And he said, are there any tips for interviewing within the financial industry? He says he's pretty far along for a job at Fidelity and he really wants it. So he just wondered if you had any advice.
I'm going to give some advice to the whole broad financial industry interview, because that's for now. I know Fidelity. Fidelity's, we have relationships with Fidelity, Schwab, and I know others, and those are good companies. So they're probably not the Burnham and Churnham type employer, but there are others that I can't speak so friendly of, that because this is the thing about the financial industry. We all know the wonderful world of finance can be lucrative. There's a lot of, when you go look at billionaires and a lot of millionaires, you see it's not by accident that a lot of them made their money in finance.
Sure.
So a lot of people want to be part of that, but there's also the negative that there's a lot of companies that are set up to take advantage of that excitement that surrounds the financial industry. And it's hard to know if you're being hired to work actually in the financial industry versus are you being hired to go sell products and probably run through your friends and family as resources, because there's a lot of businesses set up to where you think you're getting in the financial industry, but really all you are is a process to get access to your friends and family's contact list, run through the sales of products to them, and then you wash out of the financial industry and go somewhere else. So my tips for interviewing with, so that's the first thing. Understand how you'll get paid in your job. If it's selling, just know if you're truly a salesperson, because there's a lot more sales jobs in this profession than there are consulting jobs. Now, I'm going to assume for somebody like Scott, who is doing more of a consulting, or maybe it's truly a job where you can go learn a skill, learn a trade, apply that to grow within the field, is that the first thing, Scott, is just show your enthusiasm for what you want to do for Fidelity. And I would know the whole Fidelity story. I'm sure you've done your research on them. What makes, I think, it's so interesting about Fidelity is it's a private company. Mm-hmm. Here we have one of the largest providers of 401ks, holds investments for so many folks. And this is, you try to go look up what Fidelity is worth, try to go look up, the ticker symbol for Fidelity, and you'll see, nope, the Johnson family owns it. And I mean, that's an amazing, I don't know if that helps you for the interview, but it is something you need to understand how Fidelity works. And here's my tip. Go find somebody who works at Fidelity right now and interview them. Just like I told you, I got my first job by interviewing a client of the firm I wanted to work for. It shouldn't be too hard for you to go find somebody at Fidelity that you can interview or ask questions of, to give you some experience shares, to make sure this is something that you want to work for this company. And then you can make sure that you drop your due diligence and your research, because that's probably going to be important in an investment job, in the interview process. I mean, because there's what I like about Fidelity employees when I talk to them is they do a great job. It kind of reminds me of the Mayo Clinic and other these big legacy employers that essentially get you in there and you can't leave because the golden handcuffs are just so sweet that you're essentially in your gilded, awesome workplace. Mm-hmm. I almost said prison, but it's not, because you like working. Yeah. But it is one of those things. I know a lot of people that work at Fidelity, and they have great bonuses, great incentive packages, and other things. So it makes sense for you to go show your excitement for Fidelity by going a step above and beyond and going and interviewing, employees or people that have some type of relationship with Fidelity, and then using that in the process.
Goes a really long way.